Hi, my name is Ariel Hyatt, and for the next several weeks I am delighted to be presenting my sound advice series based on my own book, which is called Music Success in 9 Weeks. This is the intro module, and the reason why I wrote Music Success in 9 Weeks was because over the course of the last 16 years I've had the intense privilege and pleasure of being able to work with 1,400 plus musicians and bands. And Music Success in 9 Weeks comes from my experience of watching how they've succeeded. And what I noticed was it didn't have much to do with how they wrote music or how they performed music or even how good they were musically. What it had a lot to do with marketing and promotion, which are my two areas of expertise. Now, as a publicist, I've seen it all. And I've worked with everyone from huge artists that are nationally touring to smaller artists that are emerging. And it's very hard to gauge how success should be defined. But I did notice something. There were two distinct groups of artists. Builders, who were building their careers, and things were getting bigger and bigger, and they were getting more fans, and they were making more money as they progressed through their careers. And then artists who I call idlers. Those were artists who didn't quite get as far as the builders, and many of them ended up quitting in frustration or just not going where they needed to go. So I wrote Music Success in 9 Weeks to address what were some things that you could do to put yourself into action. So I'm going to dive right in and talk about goal setting. I believe that setting goals and writing down exactly what it is you'd like to achieve with your music career is a fundamental cornerstone in setting yourself up for success. I read a very interesting study that was done at Harvard, and what it said was only 3% of humanity actually writes their goals down. And they did a long study with people that wrote their goals down versus people that did not. And what they found was by just writing down your goals, you're much, much more likely to achieve them in the long run. And so I highly encourage you to write down your musical goals, even if they're small, like I want to sell 150 CDs this year, or big, like I want to play Giant Stadium one day. Having goals written down makes them measurable and makes them possible. Having just ideas out in your head doesn't. So goals are not written in stone. You can write them, you can change them as you go, you can cross them off. It doesn't mean just because you write them, you're defining yourself for life. But I highly recommend that you keep a list of your musical goals for 6 months, 12 months, 1 year, and then on to maybe even a lifetime, and keep them somewhere special. One thing that will absolutely sabotage you when you're goal setting is beating yourself up and criticizing yourself. And this is something I've seen musicians do since I started out. And this will directly sabotage your goal setting and your goal achieving. So be kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up. If you had a bad rehearsal or you hit a weird note or something disappointing happened in your career, quieting that little voice that's killing yourself inside of you is a very, very good way to get your goals achieved. A way also to move yourself through your goals is writing down 5 little successes that happen to you each day. I learned this technique from one of my teachers, T. Harv Eker, who wrote Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And what T. Harv says to do is every day, at the end of the day, take out a notebook and write down just 5 tiny things you did. I did laundry today. I cooked dinner for my wife or my husband. I booked a gig. I added 10 friends on Facebook. It doesn't matter how big or how small, but it's just telling the little voice, I've had little mini successes today, and setting yourself up for success. And what's wonderful about writing 5 things down is you can go back through your notebook every day and look at the things that you actually achieved. Another quick thing that I would request that you do before you dive into all these modules is keep a notebook of your goals. You want to write them out as if they're already happening. They can't depend on someone else. And you want to put dates next to every single one of them. So by September 25th, 2010, I have fill in the blank. So that's goal setting in a nutshell. I wrote an article about it, and there's a URL at the bottom of the screen. Please read it in detail, and I look forward to walking through music success in 9 weeks with you.